I'm assuming they're doing it in the studio now.
I think we are doing the interviews as well.
Pardon?
We are doing the interviews as well.
Yeah, well, I guess you'll just get it through the thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Through your phone.
Yeah, through the phone, yeah. That's your option. Yeah.
So you may have a new roommate. Always use Laurie, but she even does the jump so early there. So this one's alright. Good. Friends, 20 minutes. Good. Where's that? I'm doing those. But I know it wasn't even insane. It is though. About like everyone knows. I think other than like don't worry, I didn't reach that. It's like, I just sent 4 minutes of voice message saying this. Now what do you think? Oh yeah. You have to be someone who doesn't know what they're not actually part of it, like they're that's but also I don't care. It's on my side. She's trying to talk to him and see if he's here. I'm not going to go. Yeah, same one with like you and Blake on Saturday. Actually, they're trying Actually, she went to dinner with your mum.
Good evening and welcome to KG5 for an enormous game in the 2024 NPL Tasmania season. Some have called it the biggest Glenorchy Knights v South Hobart game in the club's history. 2 points separates these two sides at the top of the table. It's the Knights on top. It's South sitting in second, but a win tonight for South would send them top. A win for the Glenorchy Knights, they would go 5 points clear. There are 3 games left each after this. Both sides must still play the Devonport Strikers. The Kingborough Lions could throw a further wrench. They won't be an easy opponent for either in the final weeks. But the title is very much on the line here this evening. You sense South Hobart must win. More important for them than Knights. It is a seismic occasion. I'm Andrew Cooling, and joining me to call this big one is Paul Hunt. Paul, doesn't get much bigger than this, mate.
It doesn't really, no. I mean, other than this game being the last game of the season, it for mine does not get bigger than this. On the prime time of a Friday night as well here, which we love at KG5 Park. The best time of the week to be playing football. And yes, tonight, the 150th match between Glenorchy Knights and South Hobart in their history. And I certainly don't think there's been a bigger one. Some other historians and commentators out there might slightly disagree with me with some Summer Cup finals, possibly some other even more ancient Cup matches there in the distant past that Walter Bless and Keith Roberts have kept us all informed of. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here tonight. Obviously, Glenorchy Knights with their pretty valiant effort in the Australia Cup recently, I thought, playing up against New South Wales NPL division. It is another level. It is probably the strongest NPL competition in the country. Sorry, NPL Victoria, Nuffs out there. Lockie and Nick on the pod as well probably hate me for saying that, but there's some pretty adult competition up there in New South Wales, but it's really put the side in good stead, and I think that extra bit of experience tonight might just get them their way. But South coming into form in this season after some patchier start of the season.
It's their only blemish, Knights, since these two sides last met 7 games ago. Glenorchy Knights haven't lost since then. They've won 6 on the bounce, scored 32 goals in that time. They have sparked to life. South Hobart won that previous meeting at Darcy Street 3-2. It set them 5 points clear on top of the table as they seize control of the title race. They enter tonight 2 points back. In fact, within 4 weeks, that lead had evaporated, falling on the banana peel up north. Some trips to Launceston, bringing them undone. There are the starting lineups. No real surprises. Perhaps the only surprise at all, Alex Walter, seeing him start, not a surprise. But Harrison Oates on the bench, a little surprising for me, Paul, but no real shocks with the starting lineups there.
No, not particularly Glenorchy Knights as we are underway here at KG5 Park. Knights probably at their strongest lineup for the season. As you mentioned, South, Harry Oates winning that penalty a couple of weeks ago at Darcy Street as well. Crucial to South maintaining their good run of form, and obviously a 4-3 win over Launceston United last week at the bottom of the table. A couple of late goals there for United. We'll see if South can play out the full 90 there, as that game probably was more like a 4-1 win than a 4-3 win, but I hope that doesn't happen tonight on a fairly plush KG5 surface. Obviously the grandstand's still out of action. We undergo some long overdue running repairs at KG5 Park here tonight.
Yeah, we're looking at the 11s. You'd imagine Knights burdening goals. Probably a back 4 of Schmidt, Harrison, Glover, Burkic, Mearns and Cottoricchio control the midfielders. South look to make an early attack down the right. That's shut down. And you've got that kind of attacking quartet, Walpole, Dillon, Redfern, Caldwell. There is so much firepower out there for the Knights. South Hobart similarly kind of pretty fluid attacking setup with the likes of Morton, Yoss, Berezanski, Walter. They can all kind of interchange in there. Lakaseljak, Lancaster, probably in the middle at the back of Iron, Reynolds, Kokobo, Gorry, Nick O'Connell was enormous in goals last time those two met ball.
He certainly was, and obviously having those two taller central defenders in the start of the year with Reynolds and Kokobo might come in handy against the likes of Caldwell and Redfern, who've been fantastic imports for the Knights so far this year, as Mearns turns out and he's back. He's defending, as Glover moves forward. I expect this game to be a little cagey than some of the other NPL Tasmania matchups we get throughout this year. Obviously the average goals a game's gone down a smidge this year, especially at the start of the year. It was draw and low scoring central. We didn't quite know what to do with ourselves. It's picked up a bit as the season's gone on, but I don't imagine this being in that kind of 4-3 free-flowing category as Mearns tries to pass the ball forward. He gets taken out afterwards. Dillon, advantage paid. O'Connell with the punch. Mearns still down on the deck. Nathan Code seeing enough of advantage there not to bring it back.
Yeah, look, there was a definite advantage, but if I'm Riley Dillon, I'm probably just stopping it on the ball and going, all right, Steph Caldwell, step up and have a hit, especially after last week as South looked to attack back the other way. Good sliding block there. I think they probably would have preferred the free kick almost, but fair enough, the referee paying advantage. Dillon was in acres of space there. Nathan Code, the man in the middle this evening. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how open it is. Both managers talked a good positive game at the press conference this morning about wanting to attack and play in a positive manner, but we know how cagey these big games can be when so often one mistake either way can be the difference between a league title and runner-up. South under some pressure at the back here. Caldwell looking to get in behind. Flag stays down on him. Caldwell, it's nicely defended though. Jacob Lancaster comes across to see off the threat of just about the most informed player in the state at the moment in Stefan Caldwell. Morton launching one long, pretty central though. Schmidt displacing the header a little bit, gives himself a bit of problem under pressure. And Yoss there and says it out of play. Get the throw in all the same, however.
What a free kick that was last week, right in the top corner. The keeper being caught out there, still setting up the wall, which I thought was rather interesting, but you put it right up where the Spiders live. Did the Knights attacker as Vine and take the throw in back.
Just kind of looked up and went, keeper's not where he should be, is he? I'm just going to spank this one, and bang! Julie did. Probably the one area that let him down in the first half of the year. He's finishing Stefan Caldwell, but seems to have figured that out a little in recent weeks and is really bringing it all together.
Seemed to find it really well in pre-season, and then sort of after round 4 and 5 tailed off a bit, but yeah, definitely coming into form at the end as we Glenorchy Knights have brought the Vuvuzela gang back again. We heard them on the cup final making some good noise.
There's a good atmosphere down at the Den that evening. It's a long diagonal launched here. Broken up though. Walpole been really impressive this year. John Sherman singling out for praise as the long ball over the top looking towards Redfern. So he's played really improved this season. A revelation for him. Just offers that extra attacking threat. So many that South will have to contend with. As Lancaster looks like he's setting up at the back this evening. It's interesting to see, but very versatile player in midfield or defence. Nice look to get in behind Adam Gorrier, former Glenorchy Knight player who puts his keeper under pressure there. O'Connell back to the ball first. The Canadian Reynolds now, and Toby Havainen will charge forward, sends it wide for Austin Yost. He'll have a run at Connor Schmidt here, gets his head up, some support from Havainen. Instead just drops it in for Morton. Morton surrounded by red shirts. Centering ball is well broken up. Glover has been outstanding at the back this season. The first time they met back in round 4, he was just about the best on ground that day. He really controlled things. Both games at Darcy Street previously. Quite a different dynamic playing on the artificial pitch here tonight. South Hobart on the attack once more. It's Austin Yost looking to cut inside onto that dangerous right of his. Nice defence cover him off pretty well as sent wide. Gorry just overhitting that one to the back post.
It's certainly a lot different playing on KG5 surface to what Darcy Street is like currently. That is looking as chewed up as it's been in years. Not down at South Hobart at the moment. It's had plenty of work on it throughout the year. And that might be a big advantage for South Hobart in this run home. All 3 games, I think, after this at Darcy Street, which 3 home games in a row to end the season. Some pretty good fixturing there in South Hobart's favour. Obviously some big games in amongst that, but as we know, they have such a good home record. That one nearly charged down. Casual taking the goal kick out are the Knights. Now Schmidt forward towards Dylan as player over the far side. Should he decide to go there, lays it short. Schmidt gets it again and charged down. Morton, this time in the centre of the park, looks up and tries to lay a pass out to Walter, who so far in this first 6 minutes has spent most of his time chasing down. Ball's not played anywhere near him really. And forced to chase a fair bit as another former Knights player in Yost gets it. Morton battling away with Glover and is dispossessed, and Glover goes in from behind with the slide tackle, and that is a pretty obvious free kick there for the referee Nathan Code to give.
Did him all thumbs up there, Nick Morton. Glover desperately grabbing for the shirt. He knew he was beat. Slick start from South, looking a threat early on here in attack. Got him behind a couple of times. There's Austin Yost. Prepares to stand over this dead ball and get to work over the set piece. Lots of Lancaster. Morton always a threat in the air, so Yost finds someone. Teasing ball right into the mixer. Burkic there, might fall for Berezanski. Eventually skewed clear. I think so far there's a Reynolds. Avinen. Wide again for Austin Yost. Is he on the ball early? That one charged down by Cordericchio. Cleared as far as Raph Reynolds. Sprays one wide. This is ready to retreat and go all the way back to O'Connell. Of course, the Glenorchy Knights' final day of the season against the Devonport Strikers. It could be a dead rubber. It could be an even bigger game than this. Who knows? A lot will be determined by tonight as Riley Dillon just looks like he's trying to take Kokubo to the dance floor here. Grabs his arm. Nathan Code eventually calling it.
It's a bit far away from the nightclub here at KG5 Park. I don't think either of them really want to go for a dance at the paddy wagon after this. South out on the right hand side. Berezanski trying to get the return ball, and this time Berezanski trying to have a shirt full of the Knights player. Taking a free kick quickly. Harrison just keeping that one in. Schmidt only as far as Havinen. Now Reynolds, plenty of space here to find a pass. He gets that one fairly aimlessly to an offside. Nick Morton, he seemed to hesitate in the run there. Did the Morthog. I think he might have been slightly offside there. Now across to Glover. Burkic. Dillon calling for it on this near side and gets it. Does Riley Dillon, manages to stay on side. Goes towards the byline, does Dillon, and sprays that across the 6-yard box. 3 Knights players there in the box. No one making the crucial run though, Andrew.
No one had gambled and made that darting run right to the line. It was beautiful build-up play. I think it was Mearns who spread that crossfield pass. Superb stuff, and Dillon, it's exactly what James Sherman would have asked for him. Get to the byline, drive a ball like that across the face, take the keeper out of the equation. No one there out of those 3 able to apply the final touch, but a real warning shot across the bows of South Hobart there. It's been a reasonably cagey opening to this one. Teams overcommit numbers forward. I'd say a draw probably suits the Knights more than South Hobart, given the scenario heading into this. It suits Devonport just as much. They really want anything other than a Knights victory. A Knights victory would leave them 5 points clear, 3 to go. I mean, Devonport would then have to beat them on the final day. Kimberley Lions would have to beat them too, because they've got such a good goal difference. I don't think they're dropping points into their last 3.
I think that would be highly unlikely. I don't think it's necessarily impossible. As we know in football, there can be some very interesting late season shenanigans going on when the pressure's on. Obviously seen matches where the NPL trophy has been at the wrong venue in the past due to some last station shenanigans. So unfortunately that probably won't happen this year potentially, but yeah, you never know what can happen in this fantastically random league at times. That is the NPL Tasmania, as Knights get back on the ball. As we've seen, they've been a lot better at this year from mine in not aimlessly passing the ball around the back. But if they do that tonight and South don't press them, as you mentioned, it's really in South's interest to eventually put some pressure on them. As they have definitely favoured this longer ball to either of the wingers. This time it's Redfern doing the chasing and just to knock that one out of play. As you mentioned, no real clear-cut chances on either side so far, as Ryan knocks that one down long towards Yost, giving Walter something to chase once again. Interesting volley back there from Harrison. Burton seemed terribly happy with his clearance. We think he was happy just to get that away from the on-rushing Alex Walter, as Burns and Morton go at it. Morton jinks past one. There's the diagonal ball. Burton nearly got there but hesitated, and Harrison wants to bail the keeper out there.
Nice stuff from Nick Morton, who's enjoying another spectacular year. One of the premier players in the state for a while now, but his last 2 or 3 years in particular, I feel like he's really lifted a gear and just become the absolute main man at South Hobart. He's won himself a best and fairest award on the way. Would have to be in that conversation again this year, I'd have thought, Nick Morton. He's on another fine season. South swing this one in, headed clear. Caldwell straight though to Kubo. Now Adam Gorry. Quite the room to run into there. He finds a good ball. Seljak swinging one across into the box, but flag's been raised on Austin Yost. Scratches his head in bemusement, but flag seemingly up early there.
No one else having a particular issue with it, and he's certainly taking his time to deliver the ball back to the Knights to take the free kick. Lauderuccio quite find a teammate there as flying down on the deck as the Knights found on this occasion. Dylan onside here, looking to go inside, gets past one. Riley didn't, can he get back on the right, goes on the left and sprays that one harmlessly wide. Absolutely sold to South Hobart player, the dummy there, and just got back inside. You could see him slightly hesitate. It's like, oh, do I take an extra touch to get this on the right? In the end, it was harmlessly wide.
Committed very, it was Savannah, I think, committed very early to that slide. Get yourself in trouble when you go that early and just leave yourself on the deck if the player decides to just run at you and draw the contact. So Dylan, in the end, bought himself shooting room and finished well below what we're used to seeing from a player of Stone Cold's quality. Quite his best work there. Dangerous man, they won't want to give many looks at goal tonight like that. They'll quickly find themselves in a deficit. Here's Connor Schmidt. They went the other way, a former South player at Knights. Crossover between these two playing this. Tavanen with the short option of Yost. Goes longer to Walter. Some good hold up play there to bring in Nick Morton. Now Yost. Around Lauderuccio. It's forced wide. Walton. Screws it up to Berezanski. Lancaster has Gorry. Pitch down the line. They're really not giving Gorry any space to gallop into down that right, although perhaps something can develop here for lack of Seljak. That's all about the threat Adam Gorry possesses, and you don't want to give that man a room to manoeuvre down the right-hand side. So it should be something they really set out to defend early on.
Gorry been at Knights the last couple of years, so James Sherman knows how to play him pretty well, as we used to see him stick Gorry as high up as possible, even sometimes reverting to a 5 at the back and playing him as a wing back when they had a glut of central defenders a couple of years ago. There's Rynan through towards Alex Walter, who has a great deal of service. You're complimenting his hold-up play a second before Andrew. 14th minute mark, might be the first time they've passed to his feet. There's a lot of through balls going towards him, but you can see the touch that he's got, obviously having played at a high level in Victoria as well. Maybe it'd be wise to pass to his feet a little more.
Yeah, I think he's had his injury troubles again this year, Walter. Someone Ken Morton dearly loved to have fit. He kind of bemoaned the availability of some of the players, perhaps being a costly factor in some of those slip-ups up in the north, but They may be on limited minutes, but I want them playing 90 tonight. We'll see how many minutes they get out of him. Harry Oates, a very capable option if he does need to come in, but certainly I don't think we've seen Alex Walker at full flight since his comeback to Tasmania. Years we know the quality he possesses as Caldwell is dispossessed there. Spread it nicely for Yost. Just skip around Schmidt. Berezanski tries to play in the overlapping of Gorry, but Burkic alert to that and just sees it out of play safely. 16.5 minutes gone, the only real chance so far, that opportunity for Riley Dillon. It's a poor ball. A chance perhaps for South here. Austin Yost shaping to shoot. He's charged down. Triple behind. Corner. South in the corner battle here so far early on. People starting to watch from the hill to get some elevation at KG5. The grandstand out of action. You can take any elevated position you can get. KG5 while the Renos are going on. Code just wanting to have a chat there, blowing the whistle and telling the Warthog to hold up a bit. Tall timber up for South Hobart as Morton gives the signal, goes towards the near post, well cleared by the Knights. Williams didn't elect to go forward, and now the Knights trying to work on the counter-attack. Walpole trying to use his pace to go around Havainen. That's a better challenge from Toby Havainen. Not committing too early, unlike the previous time. There's now Berezanski charging through the middle. Wanted it short, instead goes to Morton. Left-footed cross goes very deep. Burkic, easy to take that one down. It's Knights just misplacing that midfield to forward pass here a little bit in the last 5 minutes, as now the shot comes in. And Austin Yost went harmlessly over the top for a goal kick to Burden. Plenty of time for things to change, and a goal can always change the manner a game is played in, but getting the sense early on here, it might not be a night for many goals. It might be a night of that one big moment. See who can seize it. Schmidt sends this one along over the head of Redfern. If Walter's not getting much to work with, Redfern getting even less at the other end. Barely a touch on the ball so far, the prolific Kiwi. He's someone they're going to want to get involved. So that wonderful goal against Riverside last week. Been in pretty good goal-scoring form. There's Redfern. Let's get a chance. He's liable to take it. O'Connell. Out to Lancaster. Very important, that 3-2 win at Darcy straight at the end. Made a couple of massive saves in the final 5 minutes of that one, Nick O'Connell. It's nearly pinching a point in a dramatic game that day. Scoring chances flowed throughout that 90 minutes. As Code, for a second, was just going to his book. Put the hand in the pocket.
Certainly a little more action in that game than in this one here so far, but as we were alluding to earlier in these games, a lot more cagey, particularly when the Knights are terribly unhappy with the draw, and they've seen some success down this right-hand side looking for Dillon. Fine and clearing that one, but managed to get South turned around and pinned deep in their defensive third as Schmidt doesn't have a great deal of options in the box, so goes towards the top of the box. Trying to barge his way through there is Caldwell. Enough white shirts to deal with it, and that's probably been slightly more emblematic of what South's distribution has been like from defence so far. Both sides choosing to play a ball over the top as their primary form of attack, but I'd say Knights doing it far better so far. There's one out towards Burkish. Mearns wants it short this time. Berezanski shuts him down well. Walter now on the ball. Walter lines up the shot, and that one counts as a shot on target. Comfortable enough for Angus Burden. Shot on target for South after 21 minutes.
Glad for his first save to be a regulation one like that. Burden, every keeper likes a nice early touch and feel for the ball like that one. Had plenty of room to get the shot off though. The Knights sat off him a little. Quite get the power to challenge the keeper as Caldwell tries to cut through the middle of the defence here, and he does so. It's Caldwell with 3 in the middle to pick out. He goes around the outside. Redfern flicks it on cleverly. But Havanen was there for South. He's got more defending to do here though. Riley Dillon pressuring. And Riley Dillon will roll it through for Schmidt. Connor Schmitz. Put it across the face, and again, can't find a Knights shirt in the area. Some threatening moments here from the home side. South Hobart with Berezanski trying to spring back the other way, and a slip there might prove costly. Austin Yost now trying to get in behind. It's Austin Yost! The shot was blocked. A recovery from Glover. And a real threatening moment there for South Hobart.
That's much better on the counter there from South. His head on the line there was Harrison as far back, but Yost got there in the end. And after Connor Schmitz flashed across the box, no one at the penalty spot for the Knights. After some great work from Stone Cold Riley Dillon, he ends up with Morton having a corner at the other end, but fantastic chance from Yost as Morton puts a bit more loft on this one, and Burden forced to parry. The Knights clear it away. Reynolds mistimes that one. And now Walpole's in. Has Caldwell as the option. Eventually goes behind him and straight into the back of the net. Knights go 1-0 ahead. And Corteruccio coming up from centre mid.
Well, he hasn't scored too many this year, but he won't score many bigger than that one. Corteruccio, the unlikely opening goal scorer, he's absolutely thumped that home. The most clinical of finishes as Reynolds was beaten to the ball there. And this time, they did find a body in the middle. And Corteruccio, the man to hand Knights the early advantage.
I don't think I've seen Corteruccio in the 18-yard box so far this season. We've seen him play, he's usually the deeper of the midfielders. And this time from the corner, from the counter-attack, taking, if not his teammates surprised, at least me by surprise by popping up there. But what a finish into the bottom corner. He hit that with some venom. O'Connell, what a great deal he could do about that. It was a handy place to put it. And after some end-to-end action the last 3 minutes, Knights 1 to the good. Now they can, if they want to, it's not really in their DNA, but Sherman can certainly sit that 5 yards deeper if he needs to. He's charged up from absolutely nowhere there, Corteruccio. I've still got some slight question marks about the celebration, but
not a fan of the dance there, Paul.
Look,
score a goal like that, you can celebrate how you like, I reckon.
It's not the worst dance I've seen in the last fortnight, but it's also not up there as the header goes forward from Glover. Redfern can't quite get there.
We talked about Walpole and what a standout he's been, such a big improver this year for Knights, and he was the one who beat the Canadian to the ball, and he looked up, had a couple to pick out in the box. He went for the cutback option of Corteruccio rather than Caldwell, knowing that Havanen's probably going to be occupying him. Set it up for him nicely. Corteruccio did the rest.
It's rare to see when you're that. The last thing you want to do when you're that defender who's the last one back from the corner kick is hesitate. And maybe Reynolds just got the feeling he might have been in a potential last man dogzo situation if you just mistimed that tackle. And in the end, that quarter of a second hesitation is enough for Walpole to slide in, and then enough Knights players were confident enough to get forward. We were talking before about not attacking the ball from those crosses from the byline. Had no trouble getting enough players forward there to make an impact. And see what South can do as Lancaster goes back to the keeper. Trying at the right-hand side. As the goal scorer Corteruccio getting a toe in, more familiar seeing him doing throughout the season. And calls for offside, not given. Taking the byline, big swing at it there from the South Hobart defender, nearly towards Dillon. Oh, once again, Knights winning that extra ball and just managed to clear it away. Caldwell got a toe in. Burns towards Schmidt, and Knights will start again. His Burden very out of his keeper. 18-yard box there to give an option. And Code will call that little nudge in the back on the pass.
And the Knights' offensive machine just starting to get rolling here at KG5. This is what they've done to basically everyone since they last played South Hobart. 32 goals in their last 6 games. There's been some scintillating attacking play from the Knights in that period, and irresistible in attack at times. And a little sluggish to start here, but the last 10 minutes they're really starting to get rolling there. Dangerous balls into the area, and I think the South Hobart defence under all sorts of pressure. Havainen steering that one away. Like a Seljack now to Raf Reynolds. Morton swings one over the top. Can Berezanski respond here? Oh, well defended. Burkic got back and got a crucial foot in. So I thought Berezanski was just about to skip in on goal, but there was Burkic.
And for mine, probably, we were talking about Walpole before being the most improved player for the Knights. I think Burkic has certainly shown that throughout the year. We saw him begin to start last year some games in the Knights season. This year, he made that left-back spot his own. And you can see why, with good covering defence like that, kicked on this year as he's passing forward, and it's a good turn from Walpole. Just managing to leave that one behind. Free code, letting the play flow. Jinking inside. There's Berezanski dispossessed, and
that's more what we're used to from Glenorchy, that sort of stuff.
As Kakubo and O'Connell just about got that one organised. A little bit of a nudge there from the Knights defender, but yes, that is what we're more accustomed to seeing. Those horns are a bit jarring after a while, but the Knights faithful up and about with their 1-goal lead.
Yeah, once you've been to a South Africa World Cup, and then after that,
still
nothingness, absolute nothing. They just got used to it by about the 3rd game. Barely noticed them. Something like this didn't bother me in the slightest. That one's blasted on clear. Just on out of play. I don't mind the instruments being brought along. So we're trying to create a bit of atmosphere at games. Get something going, a bit of fan support. Love to see it. Especially in this modern age, it's tougher to get the local crowds out and about.
Absolutely, absolutely. The most decent crowds at the big games. Some of the less marquee fixtures interesting, but a good marquee fixture like this on a Friday night usually does bring the crowds as Yost curves that one towards the back stick and manages to elude everyone. Burden. We saw early on this season teams peppering Burden with some high balls to begin his career. We've seen a little bit less of it of late.
Yeah, we saw the swinging corner test him out already once there. So I think got some tall timber that can certainly threaten from that situation. There's just enough of a threat about them going back the other way. Just Knights nervous as Redfern threads one down the line. It'll be a foot race won by O'Connell though as he charges out of his net. Blasts that one clear. The offside flag had indeed been raised. Some sharp camera work there. Just all the angles.
Like he went at least a shoulder early there, did Walpole.
Should be something they'll try and exploit at times, I'd have thought. Knights, they're pacing behind. If South do push up too high, they'll play off the shoulder as Alex Walter at the other end forces some uncomfortable defending there, but it's put behind by Glover. Another corner opportunity for South.
They all seem to be coming from this particular corner as well, this side of the ground. Morton continuing to pull rank as captain and team leader and taking all the in-swinging corners. This one, again, plenty of loft on it over the top of Burden, and one cleared away by the Knights for a corner. As soon as I say that, we have a corner from the other side, which will be taken by Gori. And the outswinger on this occasion. And that one going centrally. Harrison getting his head to it. Walter will turn and collect. Lays it out to Havainen. Swinging near post and coming off the knee of Burden in the end. Slightly fortuitously to a Knights defender as Schmidt now There's their usual outlet down the right-hand side. This time well cut out. And Lancaster play it towards Gorry. If you hit Morton, it's interesting if the scoreline stays like this. At what point do you start to push a few extra bodies forward? There, Lancaster hold back four there, sitting pretty deep on that occasion. As Corderuccio and Morton battle for the ball. South come out on top on this occasion. Staying out wide as Kubo out there out wide, as just touch eluding him on this occasion.
It's an interesting one for the managers tonight. So now for Sherman with the lead with Ken Morton. Both managers tried to play down the importance of the game a little, their pre-game talk. So I think there's still 3 weeks to go after this. A lot can change. So whether South do go all out for the win, or whether they're happy to say, look, they Devonport, they don't. You can win the league that way. I think you'd rather try and keep your fate in your own hands and seize top spot and really go for the win tonight while you can control it. But 1-0, they'll probably take a draw. But I think if they do get back level, they've got to push for the win, don't they?
Yeah, surely. Yeah, my instinctive answer was surely you'd sort of make this game you make or break. 5 points down with 3 games to go. I mean, this is, you know, if you're still 1-0 down at the 70th minute, it's real cup final type areas of get the bodies forward.
I think it was just classic managerial speak. Just try and keep a lid on it as Austin Yost, just with a slightly heavy touch on that occasion, and should be dealt with. But let the media types like myself blow it up and carry on about how it's the title-defining game. We'll try and put a lid on it, but I think there's no putting a lid on the enormity of this one.
No, definitely not. And Ted Morton realised that he's been around the traps long enough and been in enough title races, probably more than anyone else in Tasmanian history, so know that is the free kick. That one is blown, and the first slice of cheese given out from referee Nathan Coe towards Connor Schmidt.
Probably another element is if we do draw the game, at least you've laid the foundation and go, look, we're not out of it. But I think in terms of going for the 3 points tonight, simply must, and they will.
It's a bit more of a question mark if it's 1-1 at the 70th minute mark. 1-0, I'd be bringing on, I'd be putting a defender up top.
No doubt, a loss and makes it 5 points. It'll be a 5-point lead for Knights over both South and Devonport, provided Devonport take care of business tomorrow at Valley Road. We're relying on them to slip up twice in 3 games. It's possible with the final fixtures they have, but unlikely. As Morton looking to get them back on surface, tries to catch Burton out, and I tell you what, he left the door ajar. Morton just unable to really hit it with much conviction there, but that was an enormous gap at the post there.
Morton seemed to hit that with the pitching wedge, whereas I think if he curved a 9-iron there, he might have been in some luck there. Just needed a bit more, a bit heavier club there, as Burton possibly not learning much from his keeper up at Launceston last week, as O'Connell making sure everyone resets and gets back to their correct position. No more Kakubo on the left wing like we saw a couple of minutes ago.
Seem to really be anticipating the cross, and we're staying really close to the massive bodies there. Perhaps wanting to get there early and be able to deal with the aerial ball, but that was an opening for Morton. Just didn't quite catch it right. It's Knights. Caldwell brought down. The referee says he's made an absolute meal that gives him absolute donuts. Well, get up, says Mr. Code. Nothing doing. Rozansky. Morton. Let's spice things up. Here's Raph Reynolds. Raking ball for Adam Gorry. Again, Burkic across to shut him down, but Walters peeled off to the right. His cross deflects behind for a corner. Another one for South.
Gold's done wonders for this game. Since then, the intensity's just ramped up another 15-20% from both sides here. I'm very surprised Nathan Coate didn't give that one. I mean, obviously, if you believe the anonymous bloggers, if that was at Devonport, he would have given it, but we don't give much credence to their opinion.
Corner opportunity here for South. I think they're 6th or 7th already. It's a low one to the near post. Walter flicked on, deflected off Morton. Again, they deal with it, but don't clear it too far off field, so they can continue to ask some questions. Morton dancing on the ball here with Mearns for company. Mearns stretches out to block it off, and then his second effort was fantastic to get it to Redfern. They see it away, trying to turn the defender. It's Caldwell had some coverage on Kubo. Walter. And for Berezanski. Morton. Steered away once again. Suddenly it's South peppering the Knights area with balls. Gorry standing one up to the top of the box. Harrison rises to repel. The flag was raised.
It's going to be interesting to see if they keep that kind of peppering style given the height and strength of Harrison and Glover. One of the strengths of the entire Knights lineup, those two at centre back. And now pass between them to get the game back underway. Burkage lays it forward towards Walpole, as Dillon out the far side and goes in that direction. And a little quieter the last 5 minutes, Dillon. Now but Schmidt is the overlapping runner. Good ball there from Dillon. Crucial header there from Ralph Reynolds. Kept in Corderuccio. Yost having to do pretty deep defensive work, and that's a lovely bit of skill from Austin Yost to roll that one through the legs of Dillon and win the foul. And Dillon gives him a little high five and says, "Nice one, mate."
Respect there. game meets game. Rolly Dillon. Credit to him. He'd be filthy, but he simply had to respect. Well, he was done all ends up there, and probably in an area of the pitch, if you're going to have that done to you, that's probably the area you can afford it.
It's good to see it still does happen in the pros rather than just to mug punters like me on a futsal court, that type of skill. Going against you.
Sliding challenge there, and it's worked forward towards Yost, stretching to try and reach, but couldn't quite do so. A little deflection out of play, it will be. Throwing for South up. No, Knights just really retreating. So they go all the way back to Burden. Just really happy to try and stretch the field as Corderuccio sold down the river there, and Yost hit it first time and hit it poorly. A wildly inaccurate shot, just a rush of blood. Nick Morton not appreciating the option he took there. It was just a rush of blood. He saw it sitting there. But that opened up like the Red Sea there, and not taking full advantage was Austin Yost.
His eyes lit up, didn't they? Unfortunately, he's ended up putting that closer to the KG5 footy goals than the KG5 Clocker Park goals, as Dillon tries to chip that one down the line. Kubo should have won a win for his team, and he has. He's not taking it from up there. 2 steps back. A great deal of options, only really Morton presenting. He goes in that direction. Harrison, safety first. Back. Kubo. Pressure being applied there towards Lancaster. Corderuccio trying to get his foot on the ball, but can't find a teammate. It's like a Selchek. Chips that one forward in the general direction of Alex Walter. As mentioned previously, that's the kind of service he's being dealt with tonight. Walter in the main is Glover. Mearns just to turn out of trouble, and that one chipped forward, but this time Kubo certainly starting to read what the Knights are doing and just dropped that extra 5 yards, almost like an old school sweeper there when he knew what was coming. So it allows Knights to be onside, but it does give you a 5-yard head start, as Kubo wants a free kick for a high boot there, not given, kept in by the Knights, and that one's eventually going to roll out for a goal kick. Cheers going on there. And the Knights faithful around us at KG5. Berezanski getting the ball back. Now Morton with space if he can get the pass out wide, or chips past Tyler Harrison, and then seeks out Austin Yost. Gets back on the right peg and trying to lay it to the top of the box. And Dillon gets the return ball, gets his head up, doesn't see an option, and goes back to Schmidt.
It's been a good response from South Hobart, going a goal down. Had the best period of the game since, and Morton rolling it through for Walter, stretching. Schmidt for company. Ross deflected up into the box, not cleared. Might fall for Austin Yost. Yost! 1-1! And South hit back here. And they square it up just before half-time via Austin Yost. He made no mistake that time. He let them off the hook moments ago. This time he drills it home. It's game on. It's title race very much on. 1-1.
It's a better finish there from Austin Yost, taking a leaf out of Corderuccio there. Low, hard, in the bottom corner. Always difficult for the keeper to get to it there, particularly when it's also through a sea of bodies. He had plenty of space there and just had a lot of time there. Once Morton jinked round the centre mid of Knights, he had plenty of time to get in the right body shape to attack the centre back, get on the right peg. And it's a much better finish. And I thought making it 1-1 made it nice and spicy. 1-0 made it spicy. 1-1. Things are heating up here at KG5 as Riley Dillon, lovely ball in towards Redfern. Has Cordwell waiting in the centre, tries to go in that direction towards the near post and cleared away as Schmidt towards Mearns. It's a really good ball there from Mearns. I think Burkic was not expecting him to be able to get up and over. 3 minutes and change left in this first half. Expect the usual 1 minute of added time. And back to kick-off pretty quickly from these goals so far in this first half.
Yeah, there's not too much messing about out there. Seems to get on with the job, and the job being to try and win the title. And South have hit back really well. As I said just before the goal, they'd responded well to going a goal down. Knights were starting to flex their muscle and just took the foot off the accelerator a little, I think. And South continue to ask questions, continue to get the ball in the area. Sooner or later, chances are going to open up. Austin Yost managing to fire one past. There were several bodies in between he and the goal. He did really well to get it away. But stage being set for the second half here. Can anyone take a lead into the break? Maybe it'll be Knights. Dillon cutting back centrally. Had Redfern there. Cleared away. As Knights looking to respond equally well to having conceded. Back to type of play that saw them asking all sorts of questions of the South Hobart defence earlier in the half. They look to finish this first 45 on the front foot. Recapture their lead. Riley Dillon. Schmidt. Charged down by Yost. Oh, couldn't quite get back to Dillon. Kokuba guides it away. Cross comes Glover to see it clear. Battle in the middle here between Berezanski and Mearns. Now trying to get behind Caldwell. Kester blocking him off. Got it down. Just sees it nipped away from him by Mearns. Stalwarts of the NPL Tasmania battling away there in midfield. Two of the best players over a very long period of time. Corderuccio. Just got buffeted off it. Passes it out of play.
Knight's best attacking moments have come down this right-hand side, and they've still tried to attack down there since South's goal. As we towards stoppage time. Way back to O'Connell. About going long before keeping it short. It's Lancaster, now Reynolds. It's better from South. Need to change of passing between most of the team. It sees Toby Havainen in the most advanced position and just cut it back towards Berezanski. That's a fantastic block from Corderuccio. His body on the line at the top of the 18-yard box. Now Reynolds. Selchek and now back out. Rynan staying forward. Reynolds. Berezanski. Towards Gorry. Thought about going forward. Ball towards the back stick, and had a lot more time than he thought there, and he turns to his keeper and said, "Why didn't you tell me I had more time?" And South with another corner. I think it's up to 8 so far in this first half.
Something like that, and perhaps one last opportunity here to take the lead into half-time, and what a turn-up that would be from where we were 10 minutes ago. South finishing the half strongly, back on terms now, looking to take the lead, and they've threatened from these set pieces. Morton with the latest of them. Burden punches away. Yost into it by Glenorchy. Appeals for it. Thought he got a touch off of Yost. AR disagrees. South don't want to mess about here if they want to try and forge one last opportunity before the break. Swung in. He goes down Walter. He's not asking for a penalty though. Morton. Fancy footwork to get clear of Burkic. Headed it behind. And it's going to stay in play. Yost thought about taking it. Opts for a throw instead. It's an opportunity for Adam Gorry to heave one last hurrah in here for South. And probing in the shadows of half-time. Can they find the go-ahead goal? Gorry. Kubo up there, curled in. Lover sees it behind another corner.
That's the code here, incorporating some copper time into this big match up here. 2 minutes and counting in this added time at the end of the first half. Curious if this is the last action or not. Gorry over this one. Swings it deep. And he's everywhere. Harrison, the main player, in there, and he gets the long ball forward, but that will be it for a pulsating first half here at KG5 Park. Around the cagey first 20 minutes, last 25 minutes, much more like what we're expecting in this borderline title decider we've got here tonight, Andrew.
Yeah, the game really sprung to life, didn't it? Glenorchy, perhaps the unlikely opening goal scorer, a clinical finish from the defensive midfielder. He does some good work defending at the other end as apparently Mac is going to run. I'm not sure if I'm still coming through or not. I'm told I am, so we'll just talk over the top of the crispy quarter pounder in limited time only. But the game really went up a gear, and South then, to their credit, responded really well to going a goal down. Had their best period of the game. I'll tell you what, don't need a coffee to get through this second half. I am wide awake. This is a cracking game, Paul Hunt.
Absolutely. No need for a macchiato tonight on this fine Friday night. We'll leave you with the delicious taste of a McCafe. At least the one in Devonport's delicious. It's about the only time I ever get it. We'll be back in about 15 minutes for the second half of some fantastic Friday night football here at KG5. Glenorchy 1, South Hobart 1.
How do icons stay relevant? They evolve. And there's nothing like bacon and crispy onions for reinventing yourself. Now you have 3 icons to try.
So they have it's just weird. Like the
I looked at it and I was trying to say, where's more? Like it was just, there's 3 or 4 screenshots of the 3 pillars and 4 people. It does like it's not a good price.
Anniversary. We said his name, the captain. Wait a second. It's like, this is their strategic goal, right? Football's their main. So if you think, did anybody put on their critics hat and look at this? No. It's not read a word. Do not read a word. Yeah, no, when they're Northern Territory, on the front cover of his jackets, so there's only footballers kids from Northern Territory. Next page. Where are the goals? They're on the 6-yard box. The post is on. You've got to have the athlete. It's in the wrong spot. Tell me what's wrong with this picture.
There's no center line.
Correct. There's no halfway line. It's missing the halfway line. So you haven't read a single word of the document yet. Nobody has put their critical hat on and gone, have a look through this and see what's wrong with it. So then you start to break down, okay, there's no rules and that's great, except that they talked about collaboration. They didn't do any of those. Even though I was going to say a tutor, but there was the line on the tutor, so it was looking up there. No, I left it. Still haven't heard me do that. Pulling it up there is not equal, supposedly. I think they claim that there's like 38 solid people so what percentage is 135? It doesn't really give you a response, does it? And then so I went to the I said, no worries. So that's great. And then once it happens, we'd start once we've got all that together, we'll come back and give you a copy of the draft. Associated with that. Perfect, great. Right, a couple of weeks later, haven't got the notes, guys. The notes coming. A couple of weeks later, notes, guys. Any notes? Any follow-up?
They didn't rock up?
Literally rang the guy.
So how are you going to miss it?
It's the follow-up. What's happening? Football's pretty clear idea of what everybody wants. They've written their draft and they've sent it to the 12. This is why deliver Tasmania. There's some stuff in there that could be so much better.
Yeah. How many was popular? Talking to the boardroom I've been at the Metro for ages. Have they
Oh
spent
yeah,
the money?
Metro's good. Well, there's things all out there. And Metro's got like a team in social activities and social And then when you have 35s, try to play out there. We're not allowed to. Nice header, Pity. Nice header, mate.
Where's Rowan?
For those who don't know him, he's really keen to go to college in the US. He said, he went over there as part of the process, being away from home and LinkedIn, but yeah, it's just awesome. It's weird. All links into wanting to go to the US for college. 21 by 2 or something now. He's
How old is he?
your age. Might be great 12. Yeah, he's not much older. Big hill, right?
6 months or something.
Hey, you wouldn't shut up. No, I'm not that much more.
Yeah, he was. So he's coming home. Pretty soon, I think. I think he's struggling with the early mornings.
Good move.
Yeah. He's got through.
Here's a Waters go through the motions for George.
Oh, really? For tennis still?
George has done his back.
He's done his back.
He had his surgery. Yeah, he had surgery.
So he's done his back, his shoulder. He had shoulder. He had surgery in his shoulder.
Yeah, whether he's got a college gig yet. I think he was. Yeah, he's D1 athlete.
Yeah, because he said that was the plan.
Doesn't do that.
Oh, really? George hasn't done enough.
He's going to get his TCE or?
I don't know, because he's in my maths class. And he's never there half the time. He's always like, training.
Yeah.
So like he wouldn't have enough time to actually like pass the class. No, someone said that he doesn't eat 8 times. He needs to eat the 8.
Right. Yeah, but they still have to get a certain mark on you. Or is it more about the sport? As long as he's winning.
Depends on which movie you're watching.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Like, him and Mr. Peck always go on. Like, yeah, Mr. Peck was like, you gotta do a test. We haven't done it. We meant to do it last year. And George just, there's none of it. He's like, no, I'm not doing that. He's like, spring a test on me, I've done nothing. He literally talks back so much with the test. expects that. Just protects like Righto, stuff like that. And then if George has been away and he's like, we're like doing something probably or something, George will be doing something else. Or he's like talking about his laptop. And then he'll be like, no, I'm not getting off, I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. And this place like, you're reliable. Righto, you're reliable. Always go back and forth.
So welcome back for the second half here. The managers have had their say. We'll see if things have adjusted. The stats do tell a bit of a story there. South Hobart really got on top as the half wore on. It was Knights peppering the South Hobart area, so probably dangerous balls in the area, not a track there that they would have been pretty prolific in. But certainly in terms of meaningful chances and corners, South really took over Portland.
It certainly did, as Alex Walter gets us kicked off here for the second half. Doesn't look like any obvious substitutions or changes made early on here, as they turned the ball over pretty early on. Wardwell backing away deep, close to halfway. 2 balls in the field for the moment. Throw in. Taken short, and really Dylan not particularly happy with his passing there in the off. Brzezinski. Kubo way back to the keeper. See if this half is more like the first, Andrew. Patient start and then fairly hectic finish towards the end there as ball goes long and get away from Harrison, only as far towards Gorry. Low cross from Gorry, bounces around, and Alex Walter puts that one in the back corner. South off to a fantastic start in this second half, from 1 goal down, 2-1 up in the second half.
They've turned this on its head. Live ladder look, South Hobart move top, 2-1. And as it stands, South Hobart will be a point clear on top of the table. The Knights, well, they are in a real title fight now. They fell to them last time they met. Still a lot of time to respond, but they've struck just before halftime. They've struck just after. And it is the no longer second place South Hobart, leading this one 2-1.
Yeah, they're coach killers, those just before the half and just at outside of the second half. Either side really makes you tear your hair out. And it'll be interesting to see what Coach James Sherman does here. Knights really barely touched the ball before South scored there on that occasion. And Alex Walter, who we said hadn't had any great service in that first half. They probably only had about 5 or 6 touches in the entire half. Was sliding in his Corderuccio times 2, but made no mistake with that finish. Did Alex Walter, he used to play on the Glenorchy Knights.
It's a nice deflection for him, didn't it?
Yeah, he did. Just nestled it nicely in the bottom corner there.
He took full advantage, but geez, that set up absolutely perfect for him. I think it was Glover, just rolled off the back of his leg and just sat up a treat. But you play dangerous balls into the area like Gorry did there, and good things will happen. And the Knights have allowed South to just get way too many balls into their penalty box.
Certainly have, and we've seen that throughout this whole game, particularly with that corner count. They're so lopsided. Burkic. Where's that one in? And then heaves it clear. Easy head for Lancaster. Tennis. The main aim in the game here at the moment. That one then falls out for a throw in. Obviously, the Knights, should they need to go chasing an equaliser. Joel Samet on the bench, Henry Bain, Zeke Preble, Demetrius Theodoru. I imagine they'll be keeping the majority of their attacking lineup out there as long as possible here this evening, as Dylan now crosses this one towards the back stick, but that one, the eludes everyone, and Gorry sees that one out comfortably for a goal kick.
Obviously plenty of time still left in this one, but you mentioned earlier South's final 3 games all at Darcy Street. Riverside and Launceston City did cause problems for them, but that was up in the north. That was on the road where they really have struggled this year. That has been an absolute graveyard for them, the city of Launceston this year. But at home at Darcy Street, you'd fancy them pretty heavy favourites against both Lonnie City and Riverside at Darcy Street. Devonport next week. Jeez, that would be huge, especially if Devonport were to win tomorrow and close the gap to 2 points.
Yeah, Devonport win next week would see the title race go completely upside down compared to what it was just 2 hours ago.
They'd be content with this scoreline up at Valley Road, that's for sure.
With cheers from north of Oatlands right now. Devonport have had a fairly up and down season, but obviously it's testament to them and their club culture that they're still in the title race at this stage of the season as the cross goes towards the back stick where Burkic was setting up, and the shot on the turn from Walpole. O'Connell got a touch on that one. We could see it was going wide. But no, that one the keeper, and now the Knights have a corner from South Hobart preferred corner end of that first half. Let's see what the Knights can do from this. Devonport in action tomorrow. 2:15 kickoff, 2:30 kickoff tomorrow. Devonport. As that one goes towards the near post, cleared away on the volley. O'Connell turns that one away. Vinan's clearance charged down at the first time of asking. It gets it away. And the second is Yost, and that's a good run there from Alex Walter. Burden not electing to come out for that one. As the Morthog up ahead. Gorry coming in at the back stick. Nearly falls towards Gorry. Burns gets there and towies that one away. Stays in the field of play. Good amount of curve on it there, and Walpole gets past the challenge of Reynolds. Walpole into the 18-yard box. Wants to get on the right peg. Does so, Walpole. Lays it back off to the top of the box. Charged down by Havinen. Eventually cleared away, and I'm not sure if Walpole maybe should have got that one for himself, Andrew.
Yeah, perhaps, as in answer to your earlier question before the play just continued rolling. 4:30 kickoff tomorrow at Valley Road. Trio of fixtures later on, the twilight tomorrow. But that one a huge game. And Devonport taking on Riverside, and then Devonport will have the rest of the top 4 in the final 3 weeks. They've kind of had that month where they play 5th to 8th, a chance to keep in touch. They've not heard yet. Knights would have Kingborough, Clarence Zebras, and then Devonport on the final day. So that's each side's respective final few weeks in this gripping title race. And a gripping game here. Caldwell could change it again. He nestles it into the side netting. Wasn't too far away there, Steph Caldwell.
I haven't seen a great deal of Caldwell so far in this match. He just hasn't really had too many chances, particularly around the 18-yard box where he's done most of his damage. Not set pieces so far this year. Maybe it's the chance now, because that's a lovely little through ball played in. Maruccio towards Schmidt. Nice cross over the fence on the full. Another chance for South to reset.
Well, South have, even when they haven't been their best, to have the wood over Glenorchy Knights, even in seasons where they've finished ahead of them.
Last 16 games going into this, 3 wins for Glenorchy, which is not the best record. That's certainly bogey team area, particularly when they've both been at the top of the table since 2020.
I reckon Knights would have gone into more of those games as favourites than South would have, would be my sense. So South seem to lift for this one, and they have lifted here tonight. As it stands, they would lead the league with 3 games to go. Still 40 minutes though for Knights to change that and flip the script once more. Who would bet against there being more drama this evening? We've already had a thrilling first 53 as Burkic comes across and puts that away. South continue to grow into the contest. Since about the 25-minute mark, they've been fantastic.
Definitely. One of those games would include that Lacquer Cup quarter-final thumping that South put on Knights one day, about 7-1 on the game that famously wasn't filmed. They put on an absolutely fantastic performance on that afternoon when, again, as you mentioned, not necessarily favourites on that occasion, as Caldwell jumping super deep. South build the pressure.
They've done a really good job negating that Caldwell-Redfern threat here. Walpole and Dillon have probably been the more likely of the Knights' attacking quartet this evening. Two real star imports have had nowhere near their normal influences. Walter making an absolute nuisance of himself once again and forces a scrap clearance from Schmidt. South Faithful enjoying the efforts there of Walter, who's continuing to grow into the game. We'll see how long into the night he's able to play.
Right, did Coach Ken Morton give an indication, or just as long as possible during the week?
He suggested he would like him to play 9. He wasn't sure if the physio would permit it. It was basically the word, but he knows how big this game is, and he wants his ace out there. This one's driven from Havainen. Just wide. Burden had it covered. Speculative effort from Toby Havainen, who's scored goals in big games at KG5 before.
Definitely has. Occasionally just popping up at the back post when you least expect it. Burkic. Can't get that one past Berezanski. Burns. Walter leads him to it and lays it out towards Gorry. Cross towards the near post. And that one's cleared by the Knights, slightly unconvincingly, for another corner for South. Into double figures now. Maybe not. One more to go.
And laying siege to the Knights box, these set pieces. 2-1 the score. If they were to go ahead by 2 goals, it would get very difficult indeed for the Knights. Here's Morton. Lancaster burst near post. Play by Redfern. Nodded back across the face. Nobody there though, and Mearns should be able to see it clear. He looks up and doesn't see a lot he likes. Working hard and then surely fouled as Walpole does get the decision.
Burkic decides to take short, and now Harrison will go out. The grandstand side. Reynolds decepts. Caldwell possibly fouled Reynolds there. Now he gets on his bike to Steph Caldwell. Gives the option. Instead goes towards Redfern, who turns and shoots. O'Connell's going to try and prevent that one from being a corner, but past the keeper. Knights managing to get forward. One of the first times we've seen Redfern and Caldwell link up in this game directly. As Mauricio has his cross charge down, will go again. She fresh airs that pass, and that could be a dangerous mistake as Gorry brings it forward. Gorry wants it again. Berezanski, good challenge from Burkic, and manages to deflect it off the South attacker. Promising situation nullified there from Burkic coming across.
Love it when you see defenders celebrate their work like that. He was pumped, Burkic. Crowd favourite, obviously, with the Croatian heritage. They love his work, and he loved his own work there, and I loved it. Just the big fist pump celebrating the defensive work. We're all about the strikers all the time and all the goal scorers. Celebrate good defensive efforts like that too, and his team need a lift. There's no doubt they need a spark from somewhere. Right now, this game drifting towards South as we approach the hour mark. Haven't looked free-flowing in attack as they were threatening to midway through the first half. Just started to get on top. Since then, little out of ideas at times. Tyler Harrison trying to change that and drive forward himself, but just a big disconnect between defence and midfield at the moment. Broken up by Yost.
I've barely seen them try one of those raking balls out to Dillon and Walpole after having a similar type sort of static start. They would get to here and they'd managed to find the ball, and I don't think they've done that in the first 15 minutes of this half as Walter nearly charges that one down. And it's a really interesting attempted challenge there from Kakubo. Play allowed to continue from referee Nathan Coder, who hasn't had a great deal to do in this second half, as Redfern getting in behind, and Lancaster sees it out for a corner and potentially away with one there with a little bit of a shirt or a bit of an arm pull there to Lancaster.
As he watched himself, we can certainly see the shirt being pulled back there. A more cynical player might have hit the deck there. As Mearns crosses in, great ball, headed to Flax, and into the grateful arms of O'Connell. That could have gone anywhere.
I think Redfern assumed either of his teammates in front of him there would have got a bit more purchase on it and just slightly turned away, and in the end, I think it's come off him in the end. He's not really having much of an idea about it as Walter's head up and find a teammate. Knights just get their foot on the ball a little bit more. An evening at KG5, a bit nicer in terms of playing and playing weather as was predicted. It's absolutely pour down tomorrow, which could impact some of the social leagues, but it's a good night for football here. Too much wind. Glenorchy. Finding a teammate there, I think, was Connor Schmidt. Now Yost forcing Harrison to come out to defend Berezanski. He chips that one in over the head of Alex Walter. Maybe had a little more time there just to size up the cross a bit more there. Did the south winger.
A storming shift up front tonight is Walter, and truly justifying that selection. Which might be some handy fresh legs to bring off the bench, with Knights potentially needing to push bodies forward in search of an equaliser. This one will roll back to O'Connell. Been overly tested in goals tonight as he was the last time they met, although that work did come out the death. So what's going here was sub is going to be made, perhaps. Who are we going to have introduced here? It's the South Hobart over the bench and going to Oates by the looks of things. And like a Seljuk to make way. Interesting move there as Oates comes on for like a Seljuk.
They'll see a potential tactical switch, or
maybe Morton drops back.
I was just trying to think, you wouldn't expect. I mean, Lucky Seljuk's played a bit deeper than we've seen here in previous weeks, in previous seasons, I should say. There we go. It's not a natural sort of number 6, which is where Lucky Seljuk's been most of the evening.
You might see Morton dropping back a little bit deeper. Seems the logical one. Walter and Yost are probably going to stay up the pitch, but Morton probably trust with those defensive duties a little more. Reynolds will still stay the deepest. As here is the sub Oates looking to make an immediate impact, but he ran down a blind alley there, and Nurkic take it back the other way. That's a poor ball. Gave Redfern no play on it, and passing hasn't been particularly crisp going forwards in this second half. They've really asked too many questions of this South Hobart defence so far. Harrison now tries to ask one with a diagonal. Tracking it down is Walpole, who shows a nice move to get around Gorry. Now it opens up. Walpole to the byline, cuts it back. Couldn't find Riley Dillon. It's their most threatening moment of the half by far. Glenorchy. Now Caldwell, all parried away by O'Connell, but parried safely where the clear air was and fisted it out there. Oates Rosansky. Now Lancaster. Making ball. Quite combined with Havanen, who made a bursting run forwards.
Found a Walpole there, looking at the Dimitar Berbatov move there on the sideline there, and I thought that cross was going to be as successful as that when Cristiano Ronaldo put the goal home for the one I'm referring to, but quite find a teammate on that occasion as Schmidt now was aiming to win a corner there, and O'Connell comfortably chest marks that one.
It's not a name I've considered in a while, but I'm very glad to be reminded of him. What a player.
Video appeared on one of my social media algorithms the other week, and I wasn't mad at the algorithm for once there, having that brighten up my morning. As South now on the attack. The grandstand side. He's trying to do it all himself as Corderuccio goes sliding in, and that's going to be a slice of cheddar in the end for Corderuccio. Maybe replay. Be interesting to see where the contact was made with Austin Yoss.
And look at resignation on Corderuccio's face. I think he knew it was just a foul he had to give. He was beaten. Yoss certainly made sure it was seen. There's no doubt about that, but I don't think there's any doubt in my mind. He clearly clipped him pretty late. And he just said, "You are not getting this crossing. I will take that slice of cheese every day." Well, it's Corderuccio who got that card, not Tyler Harrison. So maybe watching at home. Confirms definitely the diminutive midfielder who scored the opener. Big centre half, but it invites danger here. Nick Morton stands over the dead ball. Yost to his feet. He'll sneak around on the angle, and there will be a shooting option they'll need to cover off. That's where they head. He does bend one in, and between the wickets there, Burden, who shuts that one down. Let's see what they were going to do. Here's Yost got back to his feet. He fancied the shot on the angle. Schmidt. Way point of the half. Can Knights get something going here? On this occasion, Ralph Reynolds. Canadian Imperious there. He had fought for the opening goal. Strong ever since. After pressuring. Schmidt and Corderuccio, and they just give the ball away here, but really struggling to link up at the moment. Burkic bends one over the top. Stretching was Lancaster, did it well. Now Reynolds works it to the Warthog. Scything through. There's a little look away pass for Austin Yost. Will's on the ball a moment. Looks to take on Connor Schmidt and gets around him. Into the box. In the end, just got away from him. Thought he was going to beat Moons as well. Did just enough. See it away. It's South asking all the questions right now, Paul Hunt.
They've had the majority of possession the last 5 minutes. Knights have really managed to string it past together. In the first half, we were lamenting the service from South towards Alex Walter. In this second half, I've been lamenting the service towards Josh Redfern up front, who I don't think's had a ball within 5 yards of his feet in the last 15 minutes. It's not really going the Knights' way in this second half. South with that early goal, they've kept the momentum going ever since. Knights faithful been pretty quiet in this second half as well, as South continue to pile on the pressure. Alex Walter goes towards the near post. Tyler Harrison cutting that one out. For the moment, the Knights probably slightly thankful it's only one goal, as South, they would still be okay with a draw. They obviously would have preferred that win, particularly going 1-0 up in the first half, but a draw still isn't the absolute worst result for the Knights.
Certainly not. Keeps very much the title in their own hands. Win out and they win the title from there.
It's not like that huge uphill climb that a 2-goal deficit can be, but certainly in the last 15 minutes, not seeing the ball there, attacking 18-yard box a great deal as Glover, Harrison work it between them.
They can even afford a draw given their goal difference. They only need 7 points from the final 9. So a draw far from the end of the world for Knights. But how do they find this goal? They've not looked likely at all.
And it's been about here where in the first half they would have hit that raking ball to Walpole or Dillon that was causing some headaches for South, particularly down the right-hand side. And as soon as they get to here, they're now losing the ball as they do again. And Morton shoulder to shoulder with Nick Mearns. Mearns doing a double pirouette to get out of trouble there. Forward towards Caldwell, who's dropping deeper to try and get his foot on the ball. Quite find Dillon. And again, South with a decent amount of space in the middle of the park. Out towards Oates, who's got him behind the defence. Pace of Oates. Burden coming out and makes a good kick save. There's Angus Burden. And that's the pace. And Harry Oates coming into effect there. That was another good chance for South. You think it was a very good chance, Andrew?
The trailing leg of Burden. I thought that was in. He's just got a piece of it with a trailing leg there, Burden. That's outstanding goalkeeping. Closes down the angle. As it looks like Sherman is going to shuffle his deck, as surely he must. Henry Bain, I can see, going to come on here. He's been lively in recent weeks, and he comes on and simply had to mix things up. As this game drifting away from them right now, and very nearly 2 goals adrift.
Yeah, I saw Burden slightly hesitate, but he managed to set his legs just in time, and that right leg out was on target from Oates.
Jeez, he got separation from the defence too, didn't he?
To say he got behind Burkic rather easily with that pass. Shows, I think South will obviously still continue to be dangerous in the last 20 minutes, particularly if you stick Oates up top. Rosansky.
Caldo, who's also come on there, double sub. So 2 new faces out there for Knights. Caldo coming on, as well as Bain. Ruccio was one who made way. This one is cleared away. Confirmation who the other is. Certainly something had to be done. They need to change the dynamic. South Hobart looking far more likely at the moment. And Adam Gorry on the rampage now. Great ball, Gorry flicked away. Rebound fired back in. Morton, his shot charged down. And the Knights defence just throwing bodies in the way here to keep it out. It's all hands on deck at the back right now.
The double save from the defender there on that occasion. I think it's Thomas Walpole as the other player, not spied on the park for the Knights since that double sub, as Monan takes his time assessing where the throw will go. Morton, cleared away by Harrison. And again, the thick of the action, particularly since dropping that little bit deeper. Redfern, he was going to knock, whether running forward as you could see it running out. And Sherman pacing the touchline, as he does, to be fair, most games. I don't think he'll be taking a back seat in the next 20 minutes of this one. South continue to pile on the pressure here. 2-1 ahead of the NPL Tasmania on the live ladder. As Schmidt launches that one forward towards Redfern, and this time safety first from Kukubo.
It's about the most advanced they've been all half. A while since we've been up this end of the pitch.
Yeah, definitely. Schmidt now. Deflected cross, could fall fortuitously. Burkic has gotten forward. Nearly got the shot off. Aldo forward now. The cross towards the back stick. O'Connell got more of his teammate than he did of the ball. And his teammate stayed down, and surely as that's a hit to the head, the referee will stop the game, and Nathan Coe does.
If you're going to miss the ball into player, I suppose it's probably better that it's one of your teammates than the opposition. Although that scenario has led to non-penalties being called in big games at KG5 in the past.
Absolutely. South would know anything and would know about that.
No, not at all. It's the living infamy, that one. The pause for breath here before a massive final 20 minutes in this huge Friday night encounter. The title fight at KG5. It's South Hobart, who as it stands would move to the top of the table. Glenorchy Knights, having stormed back over the past 6 weeks, scored 32 goals, become a 5-point deficit to move 2 points clear. Might just be ceding the advantage back to the side who Knights took it from them back in that round 11 or round 12 game. And the last minute, there was plenty of late drama in that one though.
Just mentioning that significant goal difference before. Right, Glenorchy Knights going into this game plus 55, South Hobart plus 26, and Devonport plus 34.
It's an extra point. As I said, 7 points to the final 9 will do them just fine. They're going to win the tiebreakers tonight.
Absolutely, not even sort of one of those loosely attainable ones you sometimes get when it's 7 goals and you get some crazy score lines.
Well,
but it is a true
league, that would be a factor.
It would be. There's been some pretty crazy results in history of last day with 8 goals being scored to win league titles and things, but that's not even really the equation here. You'd have to break the NPL Tasmania goal record for a game, and we don't have really any teams this year the likes of a Knights 2015, a City 2013. We don't have really any at that state this year to make that even plausible.
Yeah, I think the weakest team anyone of the title contenders plays is South play, or someone plays Zebras again, I think.
Yeah, Knights
play
Zebras.
But yeah. I don't think it's going to be a factor. So if Knights can get level, they'd only need 7 points. So there's still to play for, and South need to hold on. You always sense that if South were going to win the title, they had to win this game tonight. They are on route to doing that, but plenty of time left for that to change as Riley Dillon stands over the ball and he flashes agonisingly wide. Redfern was there, and that was as close as they've come in this second half, the Knights.
Jack Glover also feeling like he should have got there as well. There was Knights players queuing up to get there. And there's South calling the trainer again. Nathan Code this time. Allows it to happen. Ref Reynolds seems to have come up a bit groggy, as that was Glover and Redfern both feeling like they should have got in on the action. Reynolds will head off to the touchline briefly. O'Connell. O'Connell gets the game back underway. Still misplaces that one straight to Riley Dillon. Redfern making a diagonal wrong. This time it'll go out wide towards Schmidt, towards the back post, and Caldwell was there. And knows he should have done better with that attempt on goal.
As the Knights starting to spring to life. They're going to be too late though. Starting to ask some questions back the other way at last. Just barreling into the defender there. Savinen. The offensive foul in basketball, I think they call that. But play continues here, rolls it through. Oates looking to skip in behind. This time Burkic alert and defends the situation well. Had to scramble it clear though. Give Adam Gorrie a throw in. An advanced position here. As Knights throw some bodies forward, there's going to be some room for the speedy Oates off the bench. Berezanski, Bain, Oates, back to Gorrie. Room to cross, not his best work though. Never steers away. Oates with a nice header back for Gorrie. Driving into the box is Gorrie. Takes it around the outside of Mearns, who left a leg dangling. Gorrie just went a little wide.
I like the point, getting up there and pointing at him there from Mearns, like, I know what you're trying to do, mate. Not here. As that one was destined to go out of play, as just lazily leaves that one behind, and Burden moves towards halfway. Kubo getting there first. Yost, we haven't seen a great deal of in this second half. You can see the South players in a great rush to take some of these set pieces. Vinen down the line. A lot of red shirts, but gains another 15 metres. Choose another 30 seconds off the clock. Now again. Reynolds back on the park. Vinen falling to the ground, but gets the pass off. Walter towards Yost. Just thinks about getting the cross in. Wants the back sticks towards Oates. Morton making good ground to give the youngster an option. Lays it back towards him. A strong challenge from Mearns, who's got space to run into. Does Nick Mearns. Hit the pass right towards the head of Jacob Lancaster. Caldwell. Assumed, judging by the fact half his foot was in play, he was always going to leave that one for Burkage.
Look at the boneheading going on there. Touchline. Loving getting the mug on camera there. Saracen carries forward here for the Knights. Dillon. It's a poor ball, but Dillon will recapture it. Driving at the defence here now, spreading it wide. Burkage. Mearns. There's no gaps, so he just knocks it back to Schmidt. Dangerous ball, but O'Connell is equal to it. He rises high and clasps it ahead of Caldwell and brings it in safely. Just flings it out to Adam Gorry. South will start back the other way. Walks up. His first touch was good. The pass quite able to spring Oates.
Just trying to pin the Knights deep in their defensive area.
It's a nervy atmosphere around KG5 at the moment.
It's quiet. It's a lot quieter. And certainly what that first half was is Burden gets just enough of a pitching wedge on that to get it over the first line of defence, but still as far as Gorry. Oates now with space to run into if he wants to. Gets the cross in. Morton. He wasn't too far away from flicking that one in the direction of the goal. Burden will come to take, and as we've seen, they've already brought Bain and Aldo on the Knights. Not expecting too many changes from South as Morton charges that one down from Harrison and puts the Knights captain under some pressure. Managed to keep it in. Flick forward and as far as Schmidt. Finally, ball to Josh Redfern's feet as he goes steaming in on goal. Has a couple of teammates waiting for it, and that one charged down. It'll be a corner kick for Knights. But finally, Josh Redfern getting on the ball and charging into the box.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that goal against Riverside last week. It was a beautiful exhibition of the man's talents and what he can do, but tonight it's just been starved of such chances. Finally, right at the defence, asked some questions. Kokubo answering an authoritative block. And now a corner opportunity for Dillon. Can't clear the first defender. Morton sees it away. Schmidt. Hold it on. Caldo. Mearns. And hacked away by Berezanski. Schmidt sends it wide. Brought down by Dillon. Oh, wonderfully done by Dillon. Draws the free kick. Skillful stuff from Stone Cold there.
Got throw in, actually.
Throw? Surely not.
Yep. I think when he's done the step over and knocked it off the South player, it's gone out, and he's kept it back in again.
Fair enough. He'll get an opportunity. Set up a cross here. Oh, dangling arm from Avinen caused a little heart flutter there.
I think what needs to happen is a lot of this Knights space will need to walk around to that goal at the far end and create a bit of a wall of noise there to try and bring the ball into the goal, I think.
Now, noise of affirmation perhaps on some penalty decisions too.
And we see it happen at the other end on the shed end.
Crossed in. Again, all too easy for O'Connell, and not a single body on him either.
Comfortable, very comfortable for O'Connell, and his throw out to Morton is a good one. Charging forward is Nick Morton. Oates up ahead, goes in that direction, but way too close to the keeper from the Warthog. He was playing the team role since that substitution, dropping deeper. Knights trying to turn and get South to chase, but it's just in this area of the field where the Knights haven't been able to do a great deal in this second half. Plenty of space out wide for Adam Gorry. Some tired bodies out there as Gorry goes charging forward. Up towards Oates. Back towards Gorry, but just leaves it behind him. He's left a bit of space in behind, but Reynolds manages to cover that one. On a bit strong on this occasion as Nick Morton just about takes out a substitute in that volley. And if that's not kicking the ball away, I'm quite sure what is.
Yeah, a bit of dark out stuff there from the Morthog. Another one in the South Hobart subs he hit that though.
Yeah.
I think that was Brainell. Anyway, sliding in from behind, a good challenge from Yost. Doesn't make anything of it. Schmidt is blocked off. Volleyed forward in the deck. Drawing the free kick though.
And you can still get carded for player on player of the same team action. Really determined by it's a teammate or not, it doesn't really matter.
Well, 5 minutes plus stoppage time to go. As it stands, South Hobart will be a point clear on top of the table with 3 weeks to go. Unless the Knights can change that late on. Mearns. Harrison tried his best, but it was just overhit. Get it back to the mix-up. The minutes tick by. Time becoming an enemy of the Knights now.
It's gone out of play at 85-12, and we're a nice 20 seconds off the clock there from O'Connell. And he manages to get Gorry in plenty of space to run into, who's Oates with plenty of space to run into. Nurkic has fallen over. Still on the deck, he's back to his feet now as the pass splits. Rozanski gets it back against Burkic. Gorry towards Reynolds. 4 minutes plus stoppage time. Reynolds hits that one into his own teammate, but it's 2v1 here, and Glover does well. Burden just has the time to take a touch, but he has to knock that one straight out of play. It's at the wrong end for Glenorchy Knights if they want to try and find this equaliser. A reminder, South currently on top of the NPL Tasmania ladder as it stands, as that has come off the wrong side of the foot. And Stephen Caldwell there, he's gone for the outside of the boot, and he's come off the heel there.
Sums up his night a bit, Caldwell. He's had an absolutely scintillating month, but it's just not been his night. It's not been Glenorchy's night. South Hobart on the precipice of incredible win here. To move back on top in this most dramatic of seasons. One of the more open and entertaining title races we've ever seen in the NPL Tasmania. 4 probably whittled down to 3 last couple of weeks with the lines falling off. South to make it 3-1 perhaps, sliding in Schmidt. That's a brilliant challenge. Had to get it right and he did. Made no mistake and keeps his side in with a chance here. Burkic trying to advance it up the wing, but Gorry is in his path, broke it up. He's played a storming role tonight, Adam Gorry, down that right-hand side.
If there's a challenge that deserves a fist pump and a come on, it was that one there. Perfectly timed. And coming down the other end, South reaching to possession and now lay it out through the grandstand side as Oates has now swung around to that side of the pitch. See if he can get some room to move. But that one went straight towards Burden. The Knights need to push a couple of bodies forward here, I think. With their goal difference being so big, they can sort of afford to lose 3-1 in order to go for the 2-2. There's Harrison. Still attempt to play it around the back here, the Knights. Minute and a half to go. Yet to cross halfway. South pretty happy with this as Harrison now goes the swinging ball. Kept in play. Schmidt plays it off towards Mearns. Burkic Furthest forward we've seen Burkic in a while. Doesn't have a great deal of options. Now the shot coming in, charge down. Won't fall fortuitously towards Schmidt, wants to get it towards Redfern. Now Mearns, getting a bit more width here and gets it. Cross coming in towards the back post, well cleared by Reynolds. Knights look to go again, it's Bain. Harrison with the cross, it's a pretty good one to be honest. Cleared away, is there enough source on that to get it to a teammate? It is, Glover. And his pass misplaced is Gorry. Beaten off that one. Back towards Glover. 30 seconds plus stoppage time. Harrison with plenty of time to find a teammate. Goes towards Burkic in the corner. Good touch from the defender. Manages to get past one. Doesn't get the free kick, Andrew.
He doesn't, much to the chagrin of the Knights faithful, and South Sea clear. And they've but stoppage time left now. It'll be a most dramatic of levellers now if they were to score it. But South Hobart are nearly there. Just moments away. Returning to the summit with 3 weeks to go. What an enormous 3 weeks they're going to be. Knights. Morton spoke in the game about the best way to shut down Caldwell and Redfern was to cut them off up the field. They've done it so well all night. Can they hold out for a couple more minutes here? Or is there a late sting in this tail? Schmidt lofts it in, and again it's easy pickings for Nick O'Connell. He has had little to do for much of the evening, and that is a simple pluck. And South can run a little more clock here. Could run even more if Ivanen had gone down there. Did to stay on his feet curiously. They battle away for it, and it's flung out the back for Glover. Can they find something late here, the Knights? Here's Caldo. Sends it into the middle, but it's broken up once again. Wonderful work from Yost, and now Morton to Alex Walter. It's Walter one-on-one, he could seal it. Walter! He does! And South Hobart will move to the top of the NPL Tasmania with 3 weeks to go as they look to claim the title for the first time since 2017. They've taken an enormous stride here tonight. They'll beat the Glenorchy Knights and they move to the summit.
Back on the summit, Alex Walter, what a second half he's had. He's had 2 shots, 2 goals. Fantastic work from the striker. And see what happens when you have a fit and firing and can play a full 90-minute Alex Walter in your side. Again, on the counter-attack, they've kept a couple of players up top the whole time. To be fair, Angus Burton didn't do a great deal about that one. It's taken a bit of a deflection underneath the defender's leg. And you can see the Knights, they'll just play out this last couple of minutes, you'd imagine, at South Hobart on the balance of play in this second half. Thoroughly deserving a victory for mine. They go back to the top and set up the juiciest of title races. We had a few blowouts in years past. Year 11 of the NPL, I believe this is. We've had a few blowouts, not too many title races, but this is going to be a fantastic one. With 3 rounds to go as Knights search for the improbable 2 goals. Burkic going further forward, takes a touch to Bain. Redfern driving cross towards Bain, thought about the volley, charged down from Berezanski. Should get the free kick to Burkic, and a slice of cheddar for Harry Oates' trouble. Nathan Coates kept the whistle in his pocket for the majority of this second half. Hasn't had a great deal to call and hasn't called too much, just the obvious like that one. Slice of cheddar being dished out. Only Dylan eager to take this one.
He didn't put it up, actually showed him the count. Yeah. He just pulled it out and then changed his mind.
You can see it's Mr. Nios taking his Sweet, sweet time. Coming off. I assume that was the closest part of the ground to where he was. Plenty of time getting there nonetheless is Dylan. Lofted ball towards the back stick. Bain with the up and under back in that direction. Reynolds challenging is Caldwell, this time cleared by South. Referee looks at his watch. Burkich's touch. Hopefully Burden gets there before Morton, and does. Burns turns away from pressure. Ball down the line towards Caldwell. Ideally you want him in the box though. Not necessarily out there, and Rainen clears that one out for a corner, and the referee will allow it.
Look at the watch from Code, but they need 2 goals now. There's surely not the time for the Glenorchy Knights. If they were to score from this, they'll take it quickly. They have no alternative. They've got to score here, then basically score from kickoff if they even get that opportunity. Swung in. And it's been poor delivery for much of the evening from set pieces. South's defence have repelled fairly comfortably. Burkich rolls it forward. Dylan once more. Norton back doing the defensive duties. Still, we go on here. Another look at the watch from Mr. Code. They've travelled 95 plus change. And South Hobart, one of their best performances of the year. Headed by Bain, away by Havainen. Still we wait for the final whistle. It must be imminent. Burden just punts it forward. Headed away. Rosansky. Walter sends it wide. There's holes at the back with everybody forward for the Knights. Morton will just try one from distance. He lofts it high and wide. And there is the final whistle. And this fascinating title race takes another twist. It's South Hobart back on top. They move to 41 points. They displace the Knights, still be on 40. Devonport, if they beat Riverside tomorrow, can move to 38 and make it a 3-way battle. 3 points separating the top 3 with 3 weeks to play, and the Strikers to play both of the top 2. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen. We have got the ultimate finish to this season coming up, but right now, on this night, South Hobart have ensured their fate remains in their hands. If they win out from here, they will win the league title. A seismic shift has occurred at KG5 tonight, Paul Hunt.
What an amazing situation for South Hobart to be in, destiny in their own hands for the remainder of the season, and they were, in my opinion, fully deserving of the victory. Outside of that first 25 minutes, we'll see where Knights scored and Corderuccio got that first, but since sort of the 35th minute mark, really, South Hobart took control of this game, did what we've owned them to do in years past, really bossed that midfield, laid it out to the speedy wingers, and had what they've been missing for a few years now, a clinical striker up top, Alex Walter. 2 shots, 2 goals, and that's the real difference here tonight, in my opinion. And South Hobart, they'll be riding the crest of a wave. Knights, they've got to pick themselves up. They have to slightly see it as South is their bogey team, win out, hope for a bit of luck. But with Devonport to come, it's going to be an interesting game, and I can also hear some cheers from up at Valley Road. They will love this, keeping them in the title hunt as well. 3 teams in the title race. This is going to go down as one of the best NPL Taz seasons.
Absolutely. All eyes now to Valley Road tomorrow evening. Devonport taking on Riverside. If they win that, they'll close within 3. And then how's this for a doubleheader next weekend? Friday night is Glenorchy Knights up against Kingborough. That'll be a stern test. And then on the Saturday at Darcy Street, South Hobart v Devonport. It's going to be a massive round 19. And it's been a massive night here at KG5. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing it to you. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. We certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. I agree, Paul Hunt. South Hobart, very good value for that victory. Thoroughly deserved it. And they have ignited this title race. It is set to be a fascinating final few weeks. I cannot wait for it. Every game will be live streamed on the Football Tasmania YouTube. You'll want to be tuning into them. Looking forward to bringing them to you. I've been Andrew Calling. Joining me has been Paul Hunt from KG5. It's signing off as the night where South Hobart moved back to the top of the table, and they sit now on the precipice of a first league title since 2017. Can they close it out? We'll find out in the coming weeks. But from KG